Hey y'all, so I know what you're thinking. This is not Poli Side-Eye. This is actually my review of the 63rd Annual Grammy Awards. And I was thinking, who else to better talk about this with than Jared? Because not only does he know his shit with politics, he knows it about music as well. And I'm pretty sure that he's going to disagree with everything I say about this telecast. But we shall see. So, what did you think about this Grammy Awards?
Like the outcome of like the winners or just the production
Just,
altogether?
just the production overall.
I actually think that this is, in my opinion, I tweeted this. I was like, I feel like this is the best one of these like virtual awards that I've seen. I haven't watched all of them, but I watched the Golden Globes, which I didn't think was very good. It just felt very disjointed. There was a lot of technical glitches and shit. So from that standpoint, I think that they did the best they could. Some of the set designs were absolutely amazing. Like Cardi and Meg's set was
Oh
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought from a production quality standpoint, I thought it was very good.
I feel like when COVID first started, there was more restrictions. And now there's like less restrictions, they could put on more of a show. But I gotta say, BET Awards, and you know how I usually feel about BET Awards, they did a great job. I think that was like the best BET Awards in a long time.
Yeah, it was. I was just a little tired of seeing like I didn't want to see everything be like I can't breathe.
Well, yes, that was one thing. It was
But
a
yeah,
lot.
production was very good for a virtual show, especially because it was all like mainly musical performances.
How did you think Trevor Noah did?
He did okay. I'm kind of I don't really see the point of hosts, honestly. Like they just kind of, in my opinion, they end up getting in the way.
He
He
was
did
nice
it.
to look at.
Yeah, I'm like for the Grammys, that of all award shows, that's probably the one where you really don't need a host because it's not really about that. Like it's about the performances and stuff. Whereas like the Oscars, I can maybe see because they usually have like a long monologue and then like a whole segment kind of sprinkled throughout. But for the Grammys, I'm just kind of like, you don't really need that. You know what I would actually like to see for the Grammys? I would like if they did was it the Grammys or the Golden Globes? One year they just had like comedians coming out and like presenting the awards like throughout. And they kind of, there was no like set host, but they each kind of had their moment. And the jokes never got stale. There was like a good kind of balance of different types of comedy. It was the Oscars. You remember the one year the Oscars didn't have a host? It was the year that Chris
Oh
Rock.
yeah.
I actually like that hostless ceremony, and I'm like, I wish that more shows would adopt this because I think it actually makes the flow of the show better.
Mm-hmm.
But traditions die. It takes a while for traditions to die.
Yeah, I don't remember him making me laugh per se, but I was just like, I don't mind looking at him. I really don't. It was definitely Megan's night to me throughout the entire I mean, I am so shocked that she won Best New Artist. So shocked. Also, it was kind of Beyonce's night, even though she got there almost 2 hours late. And it was a night of pandering to Beyonce, honestly. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So most of it was about the performances to me. I was really shocked. I mean, I enjoyed most of the performances. At Billie Eilish Girl, that's a beautiful song. However, I feel about her because the Grammys love giving their awards to white girls. They love giving awards to white girls.
She's actually a great artist. I'm gonna go to bat for Billie though, because it really annoyed me that she felt it necessary that this whole like I didn't really want to win because I mean what she's doing is she's anticipating the blowback. She knows what it's going to be because she's young, she's on social media, and she knows that people are going to start saying, "Oh, she only won this because she's white." And I'm just like, the song was actually really good. Like it's just yeah.
Well,
so I think that she feels the need to do that. And then it comes off kind of awkward because people are like, why is she making everyone like praise Meg during her moment and like putting the cameras on her? It's kind of all awkward. I'm like, yeah, she's doing that because the dialogue around her is going to be, oh, she only won this because she's white. And I'm just like.
I was going to wait to talk about that, but we can talk about it now.
You were coming for my girl, so I had to.
Well, I thought that moment was really awkward because I was looking at the Record of the Year category and I was just like, okay, this is a decent category. It's pretty hard. I mean, I probably would have wanted Dula Peep to win that, like, because I enjoyed that song. So it was just weird to me because I didn't think Meg was a shoo-in for that win, So I was just like, why is she like dedicating this award? Like, I can see if it was like the Adele Beyonce situation because Lemonade should have won, point blank period. I know you might disagree with me, but
I do. But
yeah, Lemonade should have won. I don't care. I do not care. Lemonade should have won. But it wasn't that obvious of a win like Lemonade should have been. So yeah, it just looked like pandering to me. I'm pretty sure, yes, her being white had something to do with it. It was more so last year when she won all four. I was just like, no way. No way
which
she
she
deserved all
deserved. I had no issue with that either. Yeah, but I do think Billie is very, I guess, because she is so young and she is very active on social media and very perceptive of like that type of stuff. I think she could also read the room and see that this was becoming Meg's night. So it felt like she needed to like get ahead of that. Again, I don't like that. She did the same thing last year when she won Album of the Year and she dedicated it to Ariana Grande, who obviously had a big year with Thank You Next. I mean, she didn't make the decision. So it's just kind of like, I don't feel like why she feel, I didn't see why Adele felt the need to do that. Like, I appreciated what she did. I just get annoyed by this inclination for people to just use, to like essentially use their moment to talk about how they didn't deserve this and to give it to somebody else. I don't like it.
Honestly, I thought I had no problem with Billie winning the record of the year for that song. I was like, okay, it was a tough category. Anybody could have won. Now, if Black Parade would have won, I would have been like, okay, something's up. Like,
that was reparations for Beyonce if she won for record of the year.
I love Beyonce, but I hate that song. I hate it, and I could not believe it won Best R&B Song. Like, of all the R&B songs in that category, and Black Parade won.
Yeah, no, I didn't care for that song.
Was she even singing in that song? Like, dido, 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 dido.
It's that rap sing stuff she's been doing for like the last 5 years or so.
But anywho, who was your favorite performance of the night?
Favorite performance of the night? Oh, that's a good question. I actually really like Meg Thee Stallion's performance. Not necessarily the part where she linked up with Cardi, because I don't really like WAP that much. Like, to me, WAP was more of a moment when it came out because of the video and stuff. I don't really need to hear that song again. And yeah, but I thought her portion was great. I was also kind of like, Beyonce, you could have came out and performed. Like, you could have gave her a moment. Like,
it was the moment we all wanted. Of course, I enjoyed Meg. I love the production. Cardi, like whatever people say about Cardi, like she definitely has stage presence. I enjoyed Doja Cat too. Cardi's performance though, I was just like, I want her to stop messing with her body.
She has an ant booty now.
Yes, and it was giving a lot of Nicki, more so with just the body shape, because it looked like it was holding her back from really moving. Yes, she looked like the motorsport video. Yes, but I think the buck stops there,
Yeah, I don't get any. Are you talking about relating her to Cardi B?
Well, someone posted last night that we still need to thank Nicki Minaj for opening this lane for other female rappers to get accolades. And I'm like, Nicki Minaj is not the end-all be-all female rapper. There were female rappers before her.
Right. I'm like, so what about, I don't know, Queen Latifah, Lauryn Hill? Like, I mean, you could, right, Lil' Kim. I mean, why did it start there?
Like, Nicki Minaj is not the blueprint. I'm sorry. She's an icon, but I just don't understand, like, why every time Cardi does something great, we got to mention Nicki.
I think it's because Nicki is probably, I don't necessarily say I buy the argument, but you could probably make a compelling or a strong argument that she's probably the first female rapper that really transcended into pop in that way, like just her videos and her award show presence and that type of stuff. So I don't know, maybe that's what they're going based on. But also, like, a lot of these people who are saying this are super young. And so, we have recency bias. People don't remember shit from like 30 years ago. So
recency bias. That is so true, especially for Generation Z. So a lot of performances that stood out to me. Harry Styles, a lot of people said they never even heard that Watermelon Sugar song. I heard of it. I just wasn't that much of a fan. But when I was listening to it, I was like, this is catchy as fuck. I understand why people like it. So I didn't have a problem with him winning. A lot of people were mad that he won over Doja Cat.
I was pulling for, I think, Dua Peep in that category. Wasn't she nominated? That was best pop performance. Yeah, I was pulling for her because I just love Don't Start Now.
And I'm glad that at least the Grammys put Say So in the correct category, because that's definitely a pop song, not a rap song.
Oh, absolutely. Not even by any stretch of the imagination.
But that watermelon sugar, staying in my head all morning. What did you think about Dula? I'm gonna say it right. What did you think about Dula? What's her name?
Wendy. It's actually Dua Lipa.
Dua Lipa, yes. Oh my God, I hate Wendy Williams for that. It's just such an easier way to pronounce it.
That's why she kept saying it that way. But what do I think about her performance?
Yes, it was cute. It was just cute to me. I was like, okay, if Kendall Jenner decided to make music, I would imagine this is what it would look like on stage, because she was just like,
yeah, she's kind of, I mean, that's kind of her thing. Yeah. She's always like that during her performances, though. I thought it was cute. I like when she was performing Don't Start Now more than when she did Levitating. And I was like, why did the baby, I hate the version with the baby. So I was like, why did he have to come out?
I hate the baby, period.
I don't know anything about him. If someone put a gun in my head and said, name 3 DaBaby songs, y'all would have to read my eulogy. Like, I just wouldn't.
He looks like a pit bull with large veneers.
Yeah, he does have very large veneers. But I thought her performance was cute. Like, she was giving y'all a little boom cat, like a little, I mean, wasn't she? I thought it was, somebody was like, she handed off the mic to one of her dancers like she was doing shit. And it was just like, it was the most sick, like 5, 6, 7, 8.
Now, I will say Dua Lipa is like just the new pop it girl. Like, she really took Katie's spot. And my question was, will she have the longevity that I'm guessing Katie didn't?
Oh, I think we'll see. I think it depends on like what happens with her 3rd album. People don't give her a lot of credit, but she actually is really like, she writes all her music. It's not like she's just, hopping in the studio after they call her and be like, hey, we got these songs for you. Like, she's actually really involved in the musical process and stuff. So I think that I think she has at least another good 2 albums in her. These days, it's really hard to sustain a career because everyone is so like, it's not an album industry anymore. It's a singles industry, which we can also talk about, because one thing I noticed, they have replaced album of the year with record of the year as the most important category. So you remember all those vignettes they were doing? Like, it was all for people who were nominated for record of the year. And now it's the last award that's given out at night. Album of the year was always the last award. They switched it. And I think part of that is in reflection to the fact that the industry is much more of a singles industry than it is an albums industry. So I think it's interesting that they just kind of slid that in there and turned record.
I didn't even notice that. That is so true.
Yeah, but think of like the last 3 or 4 Grammys, record of the year has been the last award they presented. And that had like never been the thing.
So yeah, we talked about Billie Eilish, but I did love her performance. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful song. So I'll give that to you. Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak as Silk Sonic. I mean, I knew this song was going to be really great. Like, it's been streaming. It's like the #1 streaming song right now today. I thought it was just more so replication. I mean, it's a nice song. So I feel like I'm looking like a hater.
I tweeted, I was like, I could have done without the cosplaying. Like, it feels like a costume show sometimes. But even the whole set design, like, I don't know, just when you go all in with the set design, the costumes, and just the whole kind of, we talked about this, it just feels derivative. Like, it just feels like they are, like when you're on a cruise and there's always that band who's doing like Jackson 5 covers, but they're like mimicking the choreography and stuff. That's how it feels. And I just think that after Uptown Funk, I think Bruno was like, wow, there's a bag here and I'm going to really like lead into it. I don't know. Like, on one hand, I appreciate it because I do think that there is something to be said about like nostalgia and like how that can make you feel, but at the same time it just feels cookie cutter, very, just like you said, it just feels recycled almost.
I just think there's a difference between like homage and complete just rip off. He could sing his face off though, but I just think it's a waste. Like, he went from Grenade and Locked Out of Heaven to Uptown Funk, and every time I think of Uptown Funk, I think when I was at like a rich white event working it as a server. And then you see Uptown Funk come on, and I'm just seeing all these white people like, dun 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 dun. I'm just like, oh God. It reminds me of like back in the 50s when people used to mimic Black music to make it more palatable for a white audience. And I feel like that's what he's kind of doing. So
yeah, I can agree with that. Like, we've talked about this. You can pay homage to someone, like even Duffy's Rock Theory album. Like, it was very obvious she was going for a very specific sound and appealing to a certain era, but it didn't feel contrived or even like Back to Black. Like she's giving a very like doo-woppy kind of sound, but it feels fresh. Or someone else, I read this one review of Leave the Door Open, and they were like, there's been so many other R&B artists who've done kind of this retro sound. I mean, The Love Below had very retro moments. I mean, Prototype sounds it sounds like it could be an Earth, Wind & Fire song, but he at least made it kind of funny because he put on his own like contemporary quirk to it. Bruno is like not doing any of that. So it just feels like a copy.
Yeah, talented but lazy. I did enjoy Bruno Mars a little richer and more so than Wayne Brady. Just wanted to say that.
That was strange when they got Wayne Brady to get it. I was
Wayne fucking Brady. I will never get over that. On to your girl, Taylor Swift. Now, I cannot stand Taylor Swift. If you watch my videos, y'all, she made my top 10 celebrities I can't stand list. And again, that sentiment holds today as well. Let's talk about the performance because, I mean, it was a bathroom break for me.
That's what I was so annoyed because everyone was like, time to grab a snack, time to run to the bathroom. I think, so here's the thing about Taylor Swift. Most people don't like Taylor Swift because they don't like her music. They don't like Taylor Swift because she is like a human manifestation of like white womanhood. Like she encompasses everything that people are annoyed by when they think of a white woman. Like she is the musical version of Karen. And she's aggressively white. And I think that people get so annoyed by that. And then earlier on in her career, she used to always feign surprise when she would win everything. Yeah. And so I think there's a whole like kind of
me. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But all that being said, like she actually makes really good music. So and one part of me is kind of like, I can't be too upset when she wins stuff because I actually think that she's a good artist. That being said, do I think she should have won? Do I think she should have tied Stevie Wonder as someone who has won Album of the Year 3 times? Absolutely not. But also it is kind of like, well, who does she beat? And I'm like, did I have an issue with her winning when she did? Not really either. So it's kind of like, I don't know how to be too upset.
She beat Gaga's The Fan with her first album.
I had no issue with that.
What happened?
I had no issue with that. I love Fearless.
I had a whole issue with it. It's just so funny, like how they're so comfortable handing her Album of the Year 3 times, but with Beyonce, she has to work 100 times harder just so the physical embodiment of white privilege can just be awarded Album of the Year 3 times.
I mean, I sympathize with that. And so I've been seeing a lot of people talk about like, why won't Beyonce win Album of the Year? And so one thing I keep thinking about is people keep saying, oh, the Grammys. I'm like, but the Grammys aren't just like, it's not like there's a handful of people just sitting in a room being like, okay, this is who's going to win. Like it's thousands of voting members who are deciding this collectively. If there is just a secret group of people deciding all of these things, then wouldn't it make sense for them to award Beyonce for it just so they can avoid all of this controversy all the time? So to me, that the fact that she doesn't keep winning, that she hasn't won, Beyonce, that is, it is a reflection of the fact that this is a very diverse, and not just like racially diverse, but just diverse in like musical backgrounds and stuff. And so to give you an example, I used to vote for the Image Awards, not because I should have been, but my grandmother was an Image Award voter. And she would just be like, hey, I got to mail this off by like 5 o'clock today, like just fill some stuff out. And so I don't think a lot of voters follow that closely about what's actually out there. I think a lot of them are just picking shit. And so it becomes easy to see how somebody like how Adele could win. Because she's Adele, like everyone loves her and they don't care about the music. They just love her and what she represents in the industry. That's not to say that they don't love Beyonce too. I think it's more complex than just saying the Grammys have like this vendetta against Beyonce.
Well, not just Beyonce, but I just think there's a pattern of racial bias. Like there's only been 3 Black women to win Album of the Year, period. I think the last Black person to win Album of the Year was Herbie Hancock. And then the last person of color was Bruno Mars. Why is it so hard to like give a Black person, okay, y'all can have these Black awards. You can have best rap, best R&B in y'all's category, but when it comes to overall, we're gonna give it to a white person.
But my point is like, it's not a we. Like, it's not like there's a individual body deciding these things. Like, I would feel much more compelled for that argument if it was the Golden Globes, because the Golden Globes voting body has, I think the Hollywood Foreign Press is like under 100 people. So there's a much smaller body. I'm sure there's much more like politicking going on within that. Although the Grammys do have this quote unquote secret committee, but they allege that the committee only intervenes when there are like some really outlandish nominations. They claim there is no participation in the actual voting. I mean, we don't know this. Like, what the Grammys could do, honestly, to get in front of this is just talk about like what the process is, because they aren't transparent about like who comprises the Academy and like how the voting kind of unfurls. People are then left to think that, oh, well, you know, people are just picking. Like, I saw someone who was like, oh, Taylor obviously bought this award because, you know, she wasn't surprised enough when she won. And I was just like, is that the evidence that you have to like hang your hat on? But I don't know. Like, I think the Grammys have just generally, as a body, what ends up happening is that I always say that the album that wins Album of the Year is the best album that's also not gonna push the envelope. Like, that's ultimately what it ends up boiling down to. Like, the Grammys have historically just not awarded boundary pushing albums, like irrespective of like whether it's R&B, whatever. Like, Radiohead has never won, Prince never won, Bruce Springsteen, like artists who have been known for producing like very aggressively political or boundary pushing music have not been recognized. They tend to go for the artist who produces good music, but is not gonna like, you know, really.
And it says a lot about Taylor Swift. Just give it to this safe person who makes, you know, Wonder Bread mayonnaise with a sprinkle of sawdust music.
But I don't think people are voting for it because of that. I think what ends up happening is that the way that the industry is so is so siloed. So you have all the rock people who are going hard for the rock people, all the R&B people going hard for the R&B people, and then you end up with a pop album winning because it can siphon off enough votes from, like, if you're a rock artist, you're not going to vote for Lemonade. Like, you're just not going to, because you are too biased. And conversely, if you like R&B, you're not going to vote for heavy metal. I think with music, people just bring to, unlike movies or TV, where I think there's a little bit more flexibility in what you might like. With music, people are very committed to like the types of genres they like, with a rare exception. And so I think Beyonce ends up being a victim of the fact that, you know, her music is just not going to be appealing to a large segment of the Academy. And so she's not going to be able to siphon enough votes in a way that like Adele could, or Taylor Swift. All right. And some of that is probably because most of the voting Academy is white and they just generally don't listen to the type of music that Beyonce makes. I'm sure that's part of it, but I don't think that's a whole story.
I mean, we could go back and forth like for another hour, but for Taylor Swift, it's still fuck that bitch. But anyway, some other highlights of the evening. Blue Ivy is the youngest Grammy Award recipient.
Really? I didn't see that. Okay.
Yes, she won for Brown Skin Girl.
Okay, I saw that. I just didn't know she was the youngest.
Beyonce won 4 awards last night, and now she's tied with Quincy Jones as the most.
She's the most awarded vocalist, specifically vocalist, because the person who won the most, I think, was a composer. So she's the most awarded vocalist, and then tied with Quincy Jones at 28 altogether, I think is the.
Right, so it's George Solti. He has 31, and right. He has the most wins in the classical field.
Yeah, but he wasn't a vocalist.
Right, and then Quincy Jones is, 28, and I think she's tied with him.
Yes.
I mean, while we're on her, I was glad to see her. I thought she wasn't going to show up because, the Grammys, they love to use Black people as, a way to get other Black people to watch. But, y'all niggas ain't going to win, though. But they wanted to get her to get on stage somehow, some way. And I'm glad Savage won. I love the song, personally. It was pretty awkward when she was at the steps.
When she was reaching for Megan as her handrail, and Trevor is like, wait, and she's like, the fuck? She probably had just slipped an edible right before, so, it's hitting her, and she's on the stage, and she's like, she doesn't like being the center of attention. I think also, like, one other thing, somebody made a good point. They were like, she also realized that was Meg's moment, and she felt like, they were turning it into, Beyonce's night, because the Grammys they know what's up, so they know that people want to see her, want to see the Grammys make amends. So
it looked like on Twitter, people were just like, I wish she shut up and let Beyonce talk. I'm like, well, it's her song,
right?
Featuring Beyonce. What else? I do want to highlight the Black country woman, Mickey Guyton.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you didn't like it?
So she's performed that song before, and it's very let's just get along, race relations, like
Oh,
it's the song is like you can't imagine being what is it like to be black? I think the name of the song is
black
Black Like Me.
like me.
Yeah, so it's all about like I mean she's a country artist, so you know they ate all that up. Like this is their way of showing they're not racist by playing this black woman singing this country song about I don't know, like it's just too kumbaya for me. But she sounded good. She sounded
As an artist, I appreciate the performance. I didn't really listen too much to the song. I was just like, oh yeah, she sounds good. And black country woman.
yeah.
Then they squeezed in like a few more performances like Roddy Ricch. I mean, that's not even my ministry. That's Generation Z. I get it. I mean, it was a cute song. BTS, it's crazy. If you say BTS in a video, their stands automatically just come in the comments. I've had that before. It looked like a car commercial. I'm really tired of them. I need them to learn some more dance moves. It looks like they're just watching the same New Edition tape that they were probably like training in at camp.
Not a camp. I'm just like, they're not for me, so I just don't even pay them any attention. I don't get the appeal. I tried. Oh, I really didn't try. So I'm just like, they're a big thing. I'm just gonna let them be. That's kind of my thoughts on it.
I tried, but I mean, it's not working for me. And I know they don't represent all of K-pop, but it's just hard for me to get into K-pop sometimes. But last, I guess, is the Best New Artist category because I was just so shocked that they gave it to, let alone a black female, they gave it to like a female rapper. Did you think it was deserved, out of that category? Like, who would you want to see win?
Probably well, let me put it this way. I like Kaytranada's music the most out of that category, but Kaytranada's also not a new artist. Like, this is his second album. He had made other kind of singles and produced and stuff elsewhere for like years. So this is like his fourth year in the scene. So I'm kind of like on one hand, he's not new. Mm-hmm. So I had no issue with Meg winning. Now her album or her, like I'm not going to go out of my way to listen to her stuff. Like I think some of it is a bop, but that's just not something I'm going to put on like that. But I like Meg. I like her that she is committed to just being, Houston, just unapologetically herself. Like I just appreciate that about her. So I wanted her to win. I could have, but for my own personal like taste, I probably would have preferred Kaytranada. But I was happy that she won.
Honestly, when it comes to a black person winning any of the 4 overall categories, song, record, best new artist, and album, it's just I rarely see them give it to black artists most of the time. So with the best new artist, I saw this tweet where they showed all the best new artists for the past decade. And they said there was like a curse associated with this award. And I'm just going to read you some of them. Like Esperanza Spalding, who she won over Drake, I think, and Justin Bieber.
I had no issue with that.
Bon Iver, he won over Nicki Minaj.
I had no issue with that.
Fun, I can't remember who they won over. I think
Frank Ocean.
Frank Ocean. Oh my God, I was mad. I remember how mad I was about that. Macklemore, I wanted to send the Grammys a bomb. I remember that over Kendrick Lamar. Sam Smith.
I don't remember who he won over that year. I don't remember.
Yeah, and like Meghan Trainor, I think that was just a whack category that year.
Yeah.
Chance the Rapper, and then afterward it was Dula P, Billie Eilish, and then Megan Thee Stallion. I feel like they course corrected by the time Dua Lipa, but Alessia Cara winning over SZA, where is she now? Exactly.
So she actually sang the Canadian national anthem at the NBA All-Star game.
I don't give a fuck.
No, that was egregious. Of all of those people, so let me go through the list. So Esperanza Spalding, she never wanted to be that type of artist that's going to be big. But she has a very loyal fan base. She's released like 4 albums since then. Like she's a classical artist. She's a jazz artist rather. So she has an older fan base. Like that's just the kind of music. But I don't think it's fair to call her like a has-been because she's still making music and she still goes on tour and does like the concert circuit and stuff. Bon Iver got nominated for Album of the Year like a year or 2 ago. Fun. So Jack Antonoff, who is a producer now, produced Folklore. He produced 1989. He produced a lot. He's been working with Taylor Swift. He's turned into a producer. So And so Fun has been doing more of like producing stuff. Like that never was supposed to be like a lot. Like they always had their eye for production. So I don't even think it's fair to call them has-beens because they just are doing other things.
Well, not so much has-beens, but just like as far as just relevance to me, you know?
I mean, they're relevant. They're just not stars. Like they're relevant through production. Now, Macklemore, that's a failure. There's no way to redeem Macklemore. There's no way to redeem Alessia Cara. Sam Smith is kind of like middling.
They tried to like make him out to be the male Adele or market him as such, and I just didn't see it. And his voice just really annoys me. I just don't like his voice. He has some like songs that I like, but I just can't stand his voice.
It's too screechy and he doesn't enunciate. So between those two things, it's like, it sounds like he has cotton balls in his mouth when he's trying to sing.
Yes. But I mean, I'm glad for Megan. Hopefully she dodges this curse. I'm sure she's with us for the long haul.
Yeah, I don't think it's a curse. I'm like, there's been plenty of best new artists who've had long story careers. Mariah Carey, Alicia Keys.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like this past decade specifically. I think we covered everything. I mean, is there anything else you wanted to highlight before we end it?
We'll see this time next year. I'm sure people will be mad again because that's the cycle. Nominations come out, people mad. Awards come out, people mad. And then we just keep this a vicious cycle.
I will say, like, I mean, the Grammys was just more interesting when I was younger. And I really find myself listening to old music now than the new shit, honestly. Yeah.
I think so. I tweeted this yesterday. I think that award shows, in a lot of ways, like there's questions of like legitimacy, and I think part of that is just because there's just so much out there now. Mm-hmm. So there's less clear consensus as to like what's good, and so there's always more of these conversations about like, oh, so and so got snubbed. Like the Oscar nominations came out this morning, and like Regina King wasn't nominated for Best Director. So people are already saying, Oscars, snub. So this conversation just goes on every year. And I think part of that is just because we just like different shit now. Like there's less consensus. But I think if people would stop looking at awards as being anything more than just entertainment, I think they might be able to enjoy it more. I think it just becomes upsetting because people who have historically been left out of the conversation, usually Black people, for a while women and so on, like people feel like there's also like past amends that these award shows need to make.
Mm-hmm. And I guess it's good to leave it on that note, as well as Beyonce was robbed twice for Album of the Year from Beck.
I'll give you self-titled. I will give you self-titled. I'm not willing to concede Lemonade though. Sorry. Y'all can come for me. I don't care.
But yes, where can they follow you? Unfortunately, we don't have a book recommendation, y'all, but we'll see y'all for the next Poly Side Eye though.
They can find me at JAYC Tiger Fan on both Twitter and Instagram.
Yep, and make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and share. And please let me know y'all Grammy thoughts. Do y'all agree with us? We will see y'all soon. Bye.